150 years ago, if you needed power for your business, you needed to be located by a river. You need to design and construct a bespoke building. You need to invest in a whole load of wonderful machinery. You need to repair and maintain that machinery, and you need to pay for the manpower to run the whole thing. And if you wanted to expand your business, well, you'd need to think years in advance. We can't imagine having to worry about all that now. Today we simply turn on a switch to get the power we need when we need it, and we pay for it as we use it. We no longer need to have knowledge of, expertise in, or control over the technology or the infrastructure that delivers our power. We take electricity and clean, pure water for granted. We expect an uninterrupted supply of both of them to our homes and businesses. In the 21st century, IT has become as important a resource to us as power and water once were. It influences all our lives and is essential for business. In fact, it is one of the principal means by which business can become more efficient and deliver strategic change. But IT has traditionally been a technical back-office function, with businesses owning and maintaining their own infrastructure. So when more IT resource is needed, it's the equivalent of, say, building another mill. What a modern business wants is to be able to flick a switch or turn on a tap. Cloud computing is a model that enables businesses to do just that, for software and hardware resources to be provided as a service on an as-needed basis. This is achieved by delivering hosted services over the internet or a secure network. The benefits of cloud computing are compelling.
The biggest advantage of cloud computing, both for the vendors and especially for the customers, is the elasticity. So people can get access to resources if they need it, and they can get rid of it very quickly if they don't need it anymore. And it brings basically IT infrastructure much closer to the utility of electricity itself. You don't pay something that you do not consume. Looking at the carbon emission of the IT infrastructure, it drives already about 2% of the worldwide electricity consumption. That's a lot. But cloud computing is the greenest way to get these infrastructures and compute resources delivered to your business.
The reason we take the supply of water and electricity in this country for granted is because we trust the quality of the supply completely. The problem for businesses is that while they see the benefits of the public cloud, they can't trust it, like we trust a glass of good old tap water.
The biggest barrier that most IT directors flag up towards cloud computing is the issue of security. In many ways, the approach is going to be exactly the same as if you're keeping all your IT in-house. And clearly, if you're going to be using an external provider, you're going to want to make sure that you understand what their security processes are and that they have the right procedures in place.
So what companies need to do is to bridge the trust gap. They want to be able to flick a switch or turn on a tap to get a secure, resilient, responsive IT resource from somewhere like this. The IT equivalent of a reservoir or a power station, a tangible, trusted IT resource located here in this country. Somehow a trusted cloud needs to be created that bridges the gap between a private cloud and a public cloud, where access is restricted, performance guaranteed, and yet the business benefits are not diluted. Fujitsu say they have such a solution.
Understanding security requirements is a core competence of Fujitsu. We have a number of clients in our portfolio that are really very focused on this area, ranging through to UK government and some of the areas like Ministry of Defence. So really it's about understanding what your client is looking for, what level of security they need, whether they can share any part of the infrastructure at all, or whether it needs to be air-gapped so that there is absolutely no connection with anything else, whether the network needs to be encrypted, or whether the network just needs to be private. And really it's understanding the degree to which anything can be shared is the core of the security model.
Fujitsu's market is the enterprise market. So we are in the game of supplying enterprise customers with highly secure, highly resilient, highly available solutions that fit their business models.
What's interesting about cloud computing is that it's attempting to tackle a traditional issue with IT provision within a corporate, which is that as the investment cycles proceed, you have to gear up for what you think will be your requirement for capacity or processing speed, and you're guessing at some point in the future, or you're forecasting. With cloud computing, really what you're doing is you're passing that risk across to the provider. So it's the provider's issue, Fujitsu's issue, is to make sure that what you need is available when you need it. And as your needs ramp up or ramp down, we flex the model accordingly.
One of the great benefits of cloud services, of infrastructure as a service, is freeing the customer from the necessity to chase technological roadmaps. In a traditional model where customers invest capital in product and in static services, then it is inevitable that technology will continue to develop and the technology that they are deploying will become old. One of the great benefits of infrastructure as a service is that it frees the customer from that treadmill. Because the responsibility for maintaining the capital assets is the supplier of the cloud services, it's their responsibility to do constant refresh.
The way that Fujitsu approaches cloud computing is it's differentiated between infrastructure as a service and software as a service. So if we focus on infrastructure as a service for a moment, the way that we make sure it's appropriate to our customers' needs is about understanding the level of scalability that they need, the level of resilience that they need, and the level of security that they need. And that's all wrapped up into the promise of cloud computing, which is a pay-as-you-consume, pay-on-demand commercial model.
Fujitsu's differential is in its know-how. It's our experience with the way that these services are delivered. It's our track record in working with very large organizations to deliver real benefit that's tracked and proven to them. It's the way that the cloud-type virtualized solution is built into Fujitsu's corporate DNA. We've done this for many years, we know how to do it, and all we're doing now is delivering the best, most up-to-date method of delivering those services in the new technological context.
Maybe, just maybe, a combination of the global economic downturn and climate change will be seen as the drivers that change the way IT is delivered. What is certain is that Fujitsu's solution will accelerate the pace of change.
Organisations can have the best of both worlds, using their current data centre systems and also drawing upon enterprise-ready cloud computing from Fujitsu.